Hi friends! It has been almost 1 year since I got my Silhouette Portrait 4, and in this video I wanted to do a more comprehensive review than the one I did after a month of using it. So without further ado, let's get into it. First off, I wanted to talk a bit about why I specifically chose Silhouette Portrait 4. And the main reason why was recommendations from other artists. While researching, I watched a ton of YouTube videos where people were complaining about how unreliable the Cricut machines were and recommended Silhouette instead. Of course, at that point they suggested Portrait 3 because 4th was just released. But as Silhouette claimed that the new machines were much quieter than the previous models, I decided to risk it a bit and get the new one. Another important thing before we get into the pros and cons is talking about what I needed this machine for, because you might need a different model based on your needs. And the main things I cut are laminated stickers, packaging like backing cards, sealing stickers, and sticker sheets. I haven't really ventured into other materials, so keep that in mind. Okay, and now let's get down to the nitty-gritty. This was quite an important thing for me because I'm operating through my living room / kitchen, so I move it quite often. The design is also quite sleek, even though I think the Cricuts look better, the Silhouette is not quite far off. This also was one of the selling points of this machine, and when I got it, I had nothing to compare it to because this was my first sticker cutting machine. But now that I have heard how different models sound, I can definitely confirm that this doesn't make as much noise. It still makes a sound, don't get me wrong, but it's very manageable and not annoying. I will add a small sample of the sound it makes here. Quite reasonable, right? When I bought it, it cost 229 euros, which in my opinion is a good price for what it is. Additionally, I got Cricut scraper and spatula set, 3 extra mats from Nikappa, and later I also got a roller and an extra blade, just in case. So in total, I would say I spent around 300 euros on it. Also, I wanted to take a second here to thank my boyfriend because he actually bought this for my birthday last year. Much appreciated. Even though it's a bit clunky sometimes, Silhouette Studio is amazing. You can do so many different types of adjustments, starting from brightness and contrast, ending with creating outlines automatically without needing to draw an outline yourself. And you can even adjust blade depth and force through there, thanks to the autoblade. No need to manually switch blades between cuts. And lastly, I wanted to talk about product creation. That's not really specific to Portrait 4, but still it's such a great thing that I wanted to mention it. Basically, you can create new products whenever you want and get them ready in just one day. This just gives me so much freedom when it comes to stickers and packaging, because I can create only the amount that I need and get them immediately. Many manufacturers have minimum order quantities of 50 or 100, and even if they don't, you still usually need to order quite a lot so you don't have to sell your stickers for astronomical amount. For my shop launch, I actually got the stickers manufactured, and even though they come out great, they definitely cost much more for me than the ones I made using my Silhouette. Plus, it took around a month to create. So yeah, currently I'm really happy with the fact that I can create new stickers really fast. Maybe in the future I will switch back to manufacturing if I will be able to order like 100 stickers of each design. But for right now, it works perfectly. Plus, I can create cute packaging as well. And when I get tired of one design, it's super easy to switch to another one, just like that. Okay, now on to the cons, or should I say one main con with two small annoyances. So let's start with the two minor things to consider when getting Silhouette Portrait. And number one is that it takes a while to pay for itself. Depending on the size of your small business, this might not actually be a big issue, but as I don't receive that many orders, I thought it was worth mentioning. Even though the grand total of the machine and the accessories wasn't that much, it still takes some time to pay for itself. At this point, I still haven't broken even with all my expenses, but those include everything, so not only the portrait things, but also like printer, materials, packaging, and so on. It really adds up quite fast. If you're interested, I can make a separate video talking about how much I have spent and how much I have gotten back, so let me know in the comments if you would like to see that. Number two is that it sometimes gets stuck in the looking for updates. This is also just like a small annoyance because it has quite an easy workaround, but wanted to add this here as well. Sometimes I cannot send files to cut because it gets stuck in this message. Even after like 5 to 10 minutes, it's still stuck. I just restart the software and I'm good to go. Okay. And lastly, the main con of the Portrait 4 is that it still will miscut quite often. And before you say anything, yes, I have tried to fix it in so many ways, but it still does this. I know that for some people it works amazingly, and maybe I am too much of a perfectionist, because the stickers I usually discard as like B or C grades might look okay for others, but it definitely miscuts. Just so you know, here are some of the things I've tried to fix it. I have tried to put it in different lighting situations, stick the paper right under the marks on the cutting mat and on top of them, put the cutting mat on the feeding line and right next to it, use different types of cutting mats. I have even put it on the floor to check if it's not a stability issue. I also tried to calibrate it through the software and so on and so on. And even after all that, it still does it. It still miscuts. Plus, it sometimes does this weird thing, especially with laminated stickers, that it cuts one sheet and doesn't cut the next one as deep with the exact same settings. And believe me, for this I have also tried a lot of different things. And yes, I checked the blade as well. It wasn't dirty or stuck. So what I do now is I restart the Silhouette and double check if the blade is clean between cuts. So yeah, if you thought that this machine would be headache free, unfortunately it's not. But personally I have come to terms with it and just accept it. Plus I use the MISCUTS stickers as decoration for packages, or I put them in my journal, so there's no waste in the end. Okay. So the main question that you're probably thinking is, would I recommend it? And the answer is yes. I would especially recommend it to businesses that are at a similar point as mine, because it really is a great, relatively silent tool that can bring your ideas to life so fast. But keep in mind that miscuts still will happen. Again, you might get lucky and you might not struggle with the same things I do, because who knows, maybe my machine just got damaged during shipping, or Maybe it's my printer's fault. Maybe it prints a bit off. In any case, I would still say it's a really valuable addition to my small business. At some point, I might get another machine, maybe Portrait 3, and compare them, but that's probably way off in the future because, as I said, I'm still in the process of covering all my startup expenses. I really hope you found this video helpful, and if I didn't cover something, please feel free to ask anything in the comments below. And see you in the next one. Bye!